Hi my friends, thank you for stopping by Miss Aileen's Preschool. Back to school is always about the apple, and of course the first week is all about the letter A. I often like to cook or bake for the letter of the week. That's why I'm going to show you today how to make the most delicious baked caramel apple. For this project you're going to need a cutting board, a bowl, a large knife, a melon baller, an apple corer, a teaspoon, and a tablespoon, and a baking dish for your apple. Now I'm going to do an individual apple, but if you would like to do multiple apples, all you have to do is multiply the recipe. You're going to need to choose the apple of your choice. Now this is a Granny Smith, and they're tart and they're great for baking. This is a Jonathan. It has a beautiful taste, and it's also wonderful to make this with. Over here I have a little margarine or butter. I have brown sugar, some water, some vanilla cookies, and 3 caramels. I use the chewy kind. You can use the square ones also if you'd like. For topping I have a little whipped cream and a little bit of sprinkle. The kids love sprinkle. So to start, you're going to take your large knife and you're going to cut the top off the apple, which I've already cut this one. So we're going to remove the top. You're going to take your apple core and you're going to go down around the apple core. Now you're going to need to be very careful not to put this all the way through, because you don't want it to pierce the skin. If you pierce the skin, anything you put in the apple is going to go right out that hole. So you want to go all the way around very gently like this. Then you take your melon baller, I like to use the small side, and scoop out that core. I like to keep a bowl for the waste that I'm not going to use over here. Scoop all that core out. Last week I made a sample of these with the Jonathan apple. We had gone up to Oakland and got apples, and they were so delicious I decided I needed to share it with you. Now when my kids were young, we lived in a climate that it was cool in the winter, and I like to have a good treat for them when they got off the school bus. And these are great. They make the house smell wonderful, and they're so ooey gooey and yummy. They're wonderful. So you're going to go in with your melon baller and start making small scoops to scoop out your apple. You don't want to make them too big. This is usually best done by an adult. And if you want, you can pre-do this earlier in the day or the night before. If you do that, you're going to want to take a little lemon water or salt water and dip them in that so they don't turn brown. This is just going to take a minute. We're going to scoop all the way around, get a lot of that apple out, but you want to leave a little bit of an edge. A little bit of an edge so that they don't collapse in on themselves. Now when you get it all scooped out, it's going to look like this. And you're going to take your apple pieces. Now they might still be a little bit big. Okay, my spoon disappeared. Sorry about that. They might be a little bit big, so you might just want to break them up a little bit, make them just a little bit smaller. You're going to add 1 teaspoon of margarine or butter. Put that right in there. And then you're going to want 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. I use dark brown for everything I use, but you can use whatever you like. 2 teaspoons of brown sugar. And then these little vanilla cookies, the mini ones, they're great because they equal a teaspoon already by themselves, so they measure themselves. So we're going to take 2 of those. You're going to need 2 teaspoons of vanilla cookie. I take my melon baller and I smash them like this. Don't worry if it's too fine or too coarse, it's going to taste yummy no matter what. Going to want 2 of these. Then I'm going to take those and I'm going to scrape them right up into my teaspoon. You want 2 teaspoons. Going to put that right in there. Put that right in the bowl. And you're going to give that a good stir, mix it all up. You know, we've been eating this as we've been making them, and it's even good like this before you bake it. Who knew? A little butter, a little brown sugar, and a little cookie and apple would be so good. The cookie gives it more of a Dutch apple pie taste. Makes it really, really good. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to put half of this mixture down inside the apple. My apple pieces, I think, are a little bit big, but for the sake of time on camera, I'm not going to spend a lot of time trying to chop them up. Then you're going to take 2 of your caramels. I like these chewy ones. You can use the square ones if you like. I take these chewy ones and I just give them a little bit of a press and flatten them out just a little bit. Halfway full with the apple mixture, 2 caramels flattened out. Then you're going to want to fill the rest of the apple up with the apple mixture, and you're going to want to leave a little bit of a hole in the center, a little bit of a cavity, so that you can put the rest of your caramel in there. Fill it up like that. Take the very last caramel, put that right on the top. Now you put that in your baking dish. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add 2 tablespoons of water down the side in the pan, not in the apple. You wouldn't like that. 2 down the side. Now 375 oven for 30 minutes. And let me show you how yummy this is. Here is the finished caramel apple. Doesn't that look delicious? Now, to top it off, I like to take 1 more of my vanilla cookies, and we smash it the same way we did before. And we sprinkle that over the top. The kids like to do this. Or, if you like, you can add a little bit of this whipped cream. And then you can put the cookies over the top of the whipped cream. Or you can give a little sprinkle with a little red. It gives it a little bit of color. Or green, or whatever you'd like. The kids always love a little sprinkle. There, doesn't that look wonderful? You will truly enjoy this. I hope you go out and make lots of these. Have a great fall and come back and see me again.